Hello, hello, hello. Pointer lover, hey. I'm just reading some things here, Sebastian. Oh, the internet's going nuts tonight. I was just reading something on Sebastian. I guess I had missed it. Something about his snake being taken away. All right, Punkette, because of poor behavior. Hey, Mark. Okay, so I gotta. It is? Oh, man, I gotta go find that. Hold on, I gotta go find that. Okay. Huh. All right. Well, we'll have to pull that up in a second. How's everybody doing? Heard it. Hey, Sarah. I am just sticking to facts. So first, I just want to say, hasn't it been kind of a crazy world here the last P. Diddy, man? P. Diddy, sorry, you're just going to jail, buddy. But so let's just really briefly touch on the Riley thing. Can we all just say we got a Kylie Rodney case on our hands again? So I understand, from my understanding, the family had a second autopsy done, which they felt some concern. So I think that we don't exactly know the concern, from my understanding, unless it's been released here in the last couple hours. But there's just one thing I want to say. And we dealt with this in Kylie. True Crime with Eve. Okay, Pointer Lover, I'll go there. How do I want to say this? So we know, hey, Aussie True Crime, we know that, right, no water in his lungs. But we do know several people have confirmed, why can I not think of the guy? Coroners? Medical examiners, that a person can drown without water in their lungs. And this is what I looked up. How I understand it is because there's a muscle or something in the back that when you're trying to breathe and stuff and to, you're panicked like that and you're in water and taking things, it like something like it shuts off or something. So it was weird. I couldn't remember. I'll have to look up exactly the wording of it, but it finally made sense of why there's so many people that drown that don't have water in their lungs. So it's also my understanding he was found without pants and without his jeans or without his boots. I think that was it. We know he didn't have his wallet on. He did have his shirt on. So that I really don't have an answer for. I was assuming he had his boxers on still, I guess. I don't have an answer. I do not think that, is it possible that foul play happened? It absolutely is possible. It closes. Thank you, Pointer Lover. It closes. That's what I was trying to look for. I don't know why I couldn't think of the word. Yeah, like it literally closes it up. It's amazing how our bodies are, and stops it from staying open so that if water comes in his lungs. I tried to think, okay, because I actually Googled it, like what can happen if water, like, will it weigh your jeans down and stuff? And I did read several swimming experts that said when you fall into water with jeans on, air comes in them, and if you think about falling in water, like air blows them out, so those could fall out. His boots, I don't have an answer for. I do. Hey, Aussie True Crime. I do think that it's possible that there was foul play involved, but I also think that it's possible that he was super, super drunk and maybe he was going to the bathroom and fell. Maybe why his boots are off. I don't know. So shoot me out some theories before we start talking about Sebastian. I mean, what do you guys think? Does that totally blow the case open? Or could he have fallen in the water, panicked because of how weighed down he was, and pulled off his boots and pants to try to shed some weight? I mean, what do you guys think? I know that might seem out there, but if he was panicked, I mean, the part I'm struggling with is there's zero evidence of any foul play, or really zero any evidence that he got into a scuffle with anybody. Now, there's the other thing we do know that's an area for, there's a lot of homeless people. But then again, if the intention was to rob him, well, they, so man. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, Pointer Lover. And there's one creator that's like, absolutely not, this would never happen. But most of us have at one time been inebriated. And so just like I was watching a video about people when they go into water, right? Like cars go into water, they immediately panic. And what they do is they typically run to the back of the car because they feel like that's the last thing that's going to go underwater, rather than trying to get the window knocked out and stuff before they fully go underwater. And so they say that's one of the worst things you can do. But if you think about it, if you're panicking and stuff, he might have possibly either taken them off before he fell, or he legitimately was just struggling when he fell in, because at some point, I'm going to imagine the cold water he was in probably kicked him into gear to think, I'm in the water. Like, holy crap, what's happening? I really don't know. I don't know. But like somebody else said, he could have been going to the bathroom. His boots, he could have gotten mud on his, and I'm just trying to, spitball different theories. I don't think that that's a big enough reason to like, no bodily, like, okay, sure, whoever mugged him or had a scuffle took his pants and boots, but left his, hey, Liberty Farmer, left his debit card, and that's it. I just don't buy it. Point. I can't talk. That's exactly what I think. That's exactly what I think happened. It's just one of my theories. And I'm not saying I'm right. Like I say all the time, I'm wrong all the time. But I do think in this case, that crap is heavy. His boots are heavy. There's no way he's swimming with those boots on. And I think he might have panicked and just started ditching things. Because we also have to remember where he was found is probably not where he fell in. It was, 2 weeks before he was found. So, yeah, if you're being weighted down to him, the first thing that would be uncomfortable for me would be my boots. And I'd want those things off. And pants. And the reason I think his shirt was still on was because it was lightweight shirt. But I think by the time that probably all happened, he might have been just exhausted. Yeah, I don't know, Modine. When I was Pointer Lover, when I was reading the article about like watching one of the swim experts or something, they were literally showing how heavy jeans get when they go in the water. And I had no idea. Like, yes, obviously I knew, but they just kept putting air in it because I guess air comes in, and they said they're so heavy. So part of me is like, maybe it wasn't even the boots that were bothering him as much as just getting his pants off. Yeah, especially with cowboy boots, because they're a little, tighter. And again, I'm not saying that there's potentially foul play. I guess I'm just trying to figure out the motive behind the foul play. And yeah, so it's all. Oh, well, that's going to be something. I can go down to my local pond and swim in boots. No, because you'll be finding me. But I remember, actually, now that you just said that part, Punkette, I remember this past summer, that's the other thing, Pointer Lover, no one found his wallet, which is odd to me, but they found his debit card. The only thing I can think of was he didn't take, but the thing is, he probably took his wallet because I'm sure he was carded several times that night. So my guess is his wallet is probably in the bottom of the river or somewhere near there, or somebody will find it. The only thing I could think of was he fell and his debit card, like he had his debit card maybe in his shirt pocket, or I don't know. But I remember when an Amish boy that was about 19 this past year around my hometown drowned in his pond. And they said he had gotten caught up out there, but that his pants actually probably really, because they wear pants all the time, was a hindrance to him because they were weighing him down. And to get out of those and stuff was going to be like, it didn't help him, in other words. Like I said, not saying that, and those weren't jeans. But I'm not saying that's what happened with Riley. I need more to go on than just that he didn't have pants and stuff, because, yeah. Unfortunately, in this situation, I don't think that this other autopsy is going, like, if that's what they that it's going to matter that much, because I think it'll kind of be like it was with Kylie, like they'll just spin circles. And I mean, I guess mom and dad, family could. Yeah, that's what I think, Mark. Yep. Exactly. Well, I didn't realize it's like shore. And then there's sections of this river that just are like this concrete brick, and it just straight down, and you just fall. Like it's just down. Like once you go over that, there's nothing. So all he had to do was just fall over that, I think. And at least that's what Amber, who lives out there, said, that you can like, that so many people die because they get too close to this like wall or something and then fall off or whatever. And just once you fall off, you're toast. You're right in the. And so that's the other thing, though, because thank you, Pointer Lover. So the drop offs are up to 50 feet. If you think about it, that would make sense of why he basically stood no chance at getting back out. So Mo, I have not heard that it showed any type of bruising from being knocked out or anything. Yeah, Mark. So when I heard the 50 feet thing, that made more sense of why maybe he couldn't fish himself out in the panic. And that actually is horrible to even think about. Somebody, just that boy, it's just awful to think about, because I can't imagine the panic of not knowing how to get out. Yeah, I'd be interested to know if there's. So I don't necessarily know if. I don't think so. His parents have some concerns. What I'm guessing is that his parents have concerns about the state of that he was found with the no pants and stuff. I don't know what else was found in the second autopsy, if that was concerning or not. I don't know. I know a lot of people get really upset about the whole water in your lungs and stuff like that, but I finally now understand how people drown without water in the lungs. It's just tragic. I just, not to hop topics, but you know how I am. I have a friend who her daughter is special needs, and she has, okay, Pointer Lover, that's what I thought. She has a aide, and this aide's niece, 6 months old, and the mom found her just in our small town unresponsive, and they think that the father shook the 6-month-old to death. It's awful. It's awful. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Mark. And it's okay. So let's say he fell, let's say 25 feet. Soon as he hits water, like that must have been like panic, and things are just filling up fast. And like I said, I'm not saying that there's no potential of foul play. I'm just saying that there's, I could see why his pants might be off. So many kids lately. It's ridiculous. Plus it was dark out. Oh, that makes me just so sad for him. And I don't even like blame the parents, because in grief, you want answers and you want to figure it out, and you want to make sure that yes, Mark. So I wonder how. Yeah, for sure, Mo, for sure. So I wonder how cold. I feel like somebody said the water was around 30, not 56 degrees. Pointer Lover, man, you need your own true crime channel. So the water was 56 degrees and cold, and you're drunk, and all of a sudden you fall, and then you're in this water. And you look around, you don't know anybody, like you can't get out because you can't see where to get out. You're weighed down. It's the perfect storm. Whatever. But I had to talk with my kids, and I was like, look, there's having fun. You are not invincible. Like I'm telling you, we've seen it. Kylie, at 16, we see it with Kylie. We see it with Riley. Do I think either one of those kids were bad kids? No, I think they were kids that probably felt like they were invincible, like most kids do. Right, exactly, Mark. And it just got the best of them. Like we all have done it. I mean, we've all done dumb things, whether or not it's, but but kids, especially in that area, you're on spring break. How many spring break kids do we hear tragic situations? It's awful. And we do know it was confirmed he got sick. So he was drunk to the point of being sick. I thought maybe Pointer Lover, anytime, I thought maybe he passed out, but I don't think so, because I do. I know it sounds crazy, y'all, but I really do think he might have taken them off. 100%, Mo, and that's exactly it. Is there's just so many kids that don't have any consequences, and so then this time, it's just tough. It's just tough. But, my thoughts and prayers are with his family, because nothing brings him back. And I hope somehow they can find closure, and that people allow them space to find that closure. And I hope, if for some crazy reason I'm wrong and there was foul play, that whoever did it is caught swiftly. And yeah, Pointer Lover. So let's move to Sebastian. Oh, good Lord, that case. So I want to stick to facts, but I'm not going to be so uptight that you guys can't have opinions either. Okay. I don't even know what to think anymore. I don't. I am going to say that I don't want to say the name. One of my friends that I talked to found something last night that was pretty interesting. I'm not sure if this has been revealed yet. It might have. But it was new to me. Yeah, that's true, Mark. That's true. That's what's going to be hard to figure out. So I still am not sold that stepdad did it. Actually, I don't believe he did it, because I just read that somebody that he works with confirmed he was at that job site on a crane that morning. His alibi did check out. Police, he was in Memphis that morning. Could something have happened before? Probably. But according to this coworker, it would have been highly unlikely for him to have been able to make it back in time. So a friend of mine was looking at his Facebook, and so I didn't even know this site existed, but there's this site called Kinky Ads. I was like, are you kidding me? This exists right now? All right, hold on a second. I got to look for it, because I don't even know how to say it. It's like Kinky Ads. I know, Pointer Lover. So when I looked, she brought it to my attention. And when I looked, 100%, Mo. I know, 100%. And the more we learn, the more I think we're all like, I gotta find the name. I just want to find the name of the site, because I just thought, and here's the only reason I think that it could be KINKYADS. Thank you, Punkat. And this is a description of this site. Kinky Ads is a free adult personals network for casual hookups. My husband's bringing my charger, excuse me. 1 second, folks. Talk amongst yourselves. Now, first of all, ew. I'm not even kidding you. And you should see some of these Facebook posts, these people. Like, I'm in town just for the night. Hey, my wife and I are looking for a couple to be with. So, one second, people. Yeah, pointer lover. Modine. Oh my gosh. Punkette said to me, "Hey, can you tell me the website so I can write it down for research?" But it is pretty. I was like, "Oh my gosh." So whether mom is involved in that lifestyle and it's a swinger thing, or whether dad uses it because he's on the road, I don't know. But one thing I do know is a site like that might be something to, okay, did Sebastian find that and get on that site, or did dad make somebody, like, I get we all follow things, but you can't deny it's perhaps a little odd of some. I mean, it's just the more we learn. I don't even know whose Facebook page I'm on right now. The more we learn, it's just the more that it's like, I hope it doesn't show that I'm looking at kinky. All right, I got to go to my facts so far. Okay. So what do you, I mean, I guess it's, I know, right, Mark? I think it just shows that their lifestyle is a little bit different. So then in 2015, stepdad moved from Virginia because he needed a new start. So he moved from California, which is where we know that he must have met Kate, the mom. Apparently, allegedly, no one is talking about it, but there was some sort of bad thing that happened to Sebastian out there that they left. No one wants to address. So I don't know. Maybe an open relationship, Punkette. That's the thing, pointer lover. So the other thing I think maybe a little bit about mom is we're watching dad, bio dad, and whatever. So also, to be clear, because I was a little bit confused, bio dad is actually not a cop. Everybody said he was a cop at first. That's what I thought he was. He actually is, in fact, a corrections officer. Like, I know that, whatever. Yeah, absolutely, Mark. So he's a correction officer. Yep. And we don't know much about their finances. So we know stepdad is not in the military anymore. We do know he's gone all the time. He was gone pretty much all of February. So whatever happened that no one wants to talk about in California. So we know that it was agreed upon. Now they keep saying the three of them agreed upon him going to live with his bio dad, Seth. But here's one thing that I wanted to make note of. Okay, so all three of them, I think I've been viewing it wrong. So when they said all three of them, I felt like it was Sebastian, mom, and dad who made that decision. But I think they meant, now obviously it makes sense, the Seth, mom Kate, and stepdad Chris made the decision for Sebastian to go live with biological dad, allegedly because, holy cow, allegedly because Chris is in a custody battle with his ex and wants to get his daughter, but for some reason he doesn't want Sebastian around his daughter. So one thing we have to take into consideration, I think, is that maybe Sebastian didn't want to live with any of them. I just sounded like a $650,000. I just sounded like, unsolved mysteries. I mean, so let's think about this. We know Chris, at the very least, has used a belt on him. We know that was years ago. Doesn't make it right or wrong, but we do know that we've heard it's years ago. I think that Chris has some control issues for sure, and I think some different lifestyles. It looks like he made Sebastian get rid of his snake at one point, but I think Chris has some different lifestyles. I think Chris rules the roost. I I think dad, from what I've gathered, I don't know him personally. I think that he, seems kind of like a tough guy as well. I know him and mom had issues. I think she tends to marry a certain type of guys, whatever, men. There you go. But I've just assumed this whole time that Sebastian just absolutely adores his dad. And I do think he loves his dad, obviously, but he might not wanted to live with him. I'm not saying he didn't. I'm just saying we have to look at the fact that maybe he didn't want to live with any of them. And that was enough for him to leave. The other thing is his dad, Seth, did say that just recently he started getting into girls. So did he meet somebody that made him interested in girls? The problem is we can't look inside the box. Like, we have to think, if he in fact met a girl, it wasn't anybody in his local school, because you'd find out. We know that mom, around, what time was it? 10 o'clock, heard him making a noise upstairs, tells him to go to bed. Now, there's no ringer alarm, no motion sensors. We know that CPS was called. Mark. So, Mo, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that's true? So, one thing I want to say is that I don't know that I think that any of them did it, but I don't know that any of them were as close to Sebastian as we originally thought. I think mom was a helicopter I think mom was a helicopter mom. And rightfully so. I think that, didn't on Nancy Grace, do you, Mark? Didn't on Nancy Grace somebody, or the dad, say that he was still wearing pull-ups and that they were working on pottying? Somebody remind me of that, because that I didn't hear that part, but somebody said, oh, that's nice. And so somebody confirm that for me, because I might be the creator, but I don't know everything. So, but I'm almost positive somebody said they were still working on pottying. They said that Sebastian was super high functioning. He was very intelligent. They had rough social skills, but his teachers say the exact opposite. His teachers are on record saying that he is, oh, thank you, Punkette. He has a chromosome defect. That makes more sense. So teachers say that he fit in well. He had friends, but his parents, even his dad, say he didn't have any friends. So you don't know, but I don't think we can totally say that he wasn't a rebellious teenager. Yeah, pointer lover. So there's again where we see, okay, so mom and stepdad say he's never on the internet. We don't have any games that he'd ever be on the internet. Dad says, yes, he uses the internet at my house because he plays games at my house. Mom still regressed with the bathroom issues, so he wore them sometimes. Dad says he's never had an exit at my house. In some ways, mom almost like she couldn't let go of him being sick in some ways, or so then you've got the other dad who is like over the top. See, Mark, I know, Mark, you got stepdad who's just over the top. I think probably out of all of them, I think he probably would have wanted to stay. That's the other part. Him disappearing doesn't make a lot of sense if he was going to go live with his biological dad, unless he didn't want to live there either. Or, no, 100% Mo. Let me pin that, because I 100% agree with this. And a kid like Sebastian could be very easily manipulated. Because look, he probably hadn't had a girlfriend before. He's 15. His hormones are off the chart. He's finally taking interest in girls. He probably doesn't have a lot of girls that, have approached him or want to be with him. He's trying to explore some independence while having a mom who is just like over the top, who makes him probably feel like he's 8 instead of 15. His dad, he liked a lot, but I don't think he got to see his dad as much as he wanted to. But we also have to remember that school is out in May, so he only had another month to go. But if he just felt like he couldn't do it whatsoever, or did mom and stepdad threaten that he wouldn't be able to go live with them because of behavior? He wouldn't go live with his stepdad because of behavior. And then comes what happened? Why does the stepdad not want Sebastian near his daughter? And what happened in California that was so bad that no one will address it? Not to mention the fact, why does stepdad have a kinky ads? Why is he on kinky ads? Like, it doesn't. You're right, exactly, Pointer Lover. Why barefoot? The only reason that I can think of that he might have been barefoot is if somebody told him, don't wear shoes because they can track your steps. That's the only thing I can think of. Is, if I remember correctly, Amber had said it was raining. It had been raining quite a bit in that area. And I wondered if he didn't wear shoes because he didn't want them to be able to see it. But then at the point, you'd be able to see his feet too. So I don't know. Spill the beans, Pointer. So I'm all about let's stick to facts, but I'm also about let's make it be a discussion group, because look, at the end of the day, we're all pretty stumped on this case because nothing really makes sense. What makes sense is that he left with somebody, but who? Right. I know, Mark, no shoes, no coat. I don't know. I don't think mom, unless I've been dead wrong before, would have done anything to him. I don't. I just feel like he was her only purpose to a fault. I think mom smothered him. Now, them escaping to a campground, all right, Punkette, isn't that big of a concern to me. Obviously, law enforcement's not going to let them go away if they need them here at all. To be quite honest, them being here, I think. Yeah, I know, Mark. I think that them actually being at the house was making it harder for law enforcement because of the circus rolling to town. Oh, yeah. Well, that's the thing. He knows no personal space. He's got raging hormones. He's 15. Like, exactly, Mo. Yeah, exactly, Emily. So many whys in this case. Stepdad's continual changing of stories is odd. The only thing I can think about them is kind of what Mark has been saying. Stepdad is a know-it-all. We know he's a real jerk. Okay, we know that. Well, anybody who's visibly got kinky ads so that the world can see as his third follow on it, like, is weird anyways. But we know he likes to hear himself talk. So I think he wanted to come off like he was like this world's greatest parent at the beginning. And so he just told everybody but what he thought everybody wanted to hear. But then he had to come out and like he started getting called out. So then he had to start telling the truth. But the problem was the truth wasn't really matching up with what he originally said. I know that Dad Seth says that he hasn't spoken to Chris or Kate in 2 weeks. I don't think that's a big shocker. I think they didn't have much communication before, but I think that they're angry at him. I think there's a lot of division, which really doesn't help the situation at all right now. But I think Chris is probably very threatened by Seth. I know, Mark. Did he have a cell? He did have a cell phone. That's right. I don't know. He's arrogant. Yes, he's very arrogant. And he wanted the whole world to believe that they were awesome. So Mom, he said he had to go back to work. We know that they're in, off. Everyone knows where they are. Law enforcement knows where they are and everything. I think them actually being at the house was actually creating more problems because some of the circus, like I said, rolled into town. And I think that was probably, can you imagine? I remember when Quentin went missing and outside of their house and stuff. So I think that law enforcement was probably like, go ahead and, leave. We know where you are. I mean, look, law enforcement's not letting them go anywhere. They don't. Yeah, they know where he is. They are. I don't necessarily blame Kate not wanting to be by herself and going with her husband, but to be quite honest, I don't think she would have even had a choice because I think she does what he says. I do think that they probably were encouraged to leave just because more people were stalking them out. More people were coming into town, YouTubers coming into town, especially with the Riley case. They were, hitting up that case, then going to this case. And I think Chris's parents are at their house. So so Chris's parents are basically at the house, just kind of manning the fort. Emily, yep, from my understanding, yes. From my understanding, the woman that Chris allegedly said was going to give Sebastian back his snake when he behaved, she did come forward. Oh, okay, point of leverage. She did come forward and say that's absolutely not the case. We were never going to give that snake back because Chris was very aware this is a store, this is a shop. We bought that snake to resell. Well, Mark, I know, I thought that too, but I don't know. A mom that doesn't have the balls to stand up to her husband is the only thing I can think of. I am glad that they at least have his parents staying there. I think, to be quite honest right now, that Kate and Seth have to come together and be united front, and Chris needs to step away a little bit, and they need to find their child because, after all, he is just a stepdad. I think that, he can be supportive, but if he's got to go back to work, good, let him go back to work. And I also, and maybe you guys can help enlighten me, I am a bit confused of why there was a GoFundMe that hit 15,000, but only 3,000 of it was issued for a reward. I guess maybe it was for the bio dad. And I guess I understand that maybe he's not working and stuff like that. But I don't know. I would have at least liked to be 5,000. But then somebody said that rewards are set at certain amounts, like the police tell, and I don't know this. So if anybody has experience with law enforcement, I don't know if this is true or not, but they said that there's a certain amount they tell you what reward amounts to give. But I mean, I guess from my point of view, I think he probably should have put up the money. Because some people were questioning it, like, we gave because we thought you were going to use it all for the donation. So, but again, I don't understand. At least that's okay, Pointer Lover. That's what I was wondering. So that is what originally I'd heard too, was that Seth's sister is because he's not been working. And that's what I thought. Ellie sets the reward money. Okay. And to be quite honest, y'all, have you ever seen reward money actually work, to be honest? I'm sure it's worked for tips, but in this case, now somebody said that the Cajun Navy said that they feel there'll be a breakthrough any day. No, exactly, Mark. I can't say they're guilty, but man, every day looks worse. That's what I thought, Pointer Lover. There's just no clues. And I know everybody's like, well, there are, I don't know. Yeah, Mo. I mean, it is evident their lifestyle's a bit odd. And you can't tell me that mom didn't know that stepdad was on that site, because he clearly didn't try to hide it. And so I don't know about you, but if I knew my husband was on a kinky ads site and worked out of town most of the time, I'd have an issue. So either 1, they have an open relationship, 2, she's involved and they're swingers, or 3, she doesn't get to say yes or no. Like, it is what it is. I know back in August, it looks like, I noticed that he was selling all his rat feeder. Like, he was just selling everything rat related. He said he had to get out of the hobby quick. Like, that he had to get rid of everything really quick. So he sold all these, I don't even know what half the stuff was, a rat feeder, whatever that is. I'm guessing that were the rats for the snake is all I can think of. Yes. So Pointer Lover, Katie keeps adding details little by little. No, Emily. So they said it wasn't normal because he didn't like to get dirty. It doesn't make sense. I wonder if, I'm sure Katie's been interviewed alone. I wish we could just hear her. I wish we could just hear from her. Exactly, Pointer Lover. And I will say, does Nancy Grace annoy the crap out of me sometimes? 100%. But I'm telling you what, when it comes to kids, there is no BS. She will hit you with any question and just like, boom. Like, what, like it or not, she's coming at you full force. But I think every adult in the situation needs to grow up, especially stepdad and Katie. And they need to go with bio dad and join forces, because you know what? If they did, they'd probably look a lot less guilty if they were working together with him, because then he could at least defend them and say, hey, you know what? Let's keep them out of that. They have answers for things. I do think I feel like they're overwhelmed. I think mom is legitimately, mom to me just seems very like, I think, yeah, I don't know. I think they got themselves in so much trouble talking so much because their stories kept changing, but we really haven't been able to hear from just mom. And I would love to hear from just her, but I don't think Chris is going to let that happen. Yeah, mom is very flat. The first interview she ever gave on YouTube, it seemed like she just like was spaced out. Just, if law enforcement has any idea where Sebastian is, then they've kept it very tight-lipped. Because at this point, that's true, Mark. At this point, part of that, Mark, is I do believe that Riley's mom knew from the beginning that it was bad. Because I remember watching an interview with Stepdad who said after like the first day, they had to really have conversations because they just had a really bad feeling. But again, let's not, yeah, she was totally wrecked. Yeah, he interrupts her all the time. I'm sure law enforcement separated them two to interrogate them, but I would like to hear them. I would like to hear, but it's never going to happen. I mean, that's why he fielded all the Facebook things. And she didn't, so that she wouldn't have to go through it. And the only time I really saw her respond was when somebody asked her if she reached out to Taylor Swift. And she said she did, which is still so odd to me. I don't know, guys. I don't even know where to start on this. Oh, he does, Pointer Lover. He does. And I try to be like really like pro, sticking up for them and stuff, but it gets really hard. Walter, dude, I don't even know what you're even saying. I will say that, Mark. At least one good thing is Walter, buddy, I don't know what you were saying. I'm really sorry for you. I think Seth is panicked. I think Seth probably sees a lot of really crappy stuff too, and in his line of work, and I think it's panicked. I mean, we're going on what? God, 4 weeks yesterday. It's not probable. Now somebody I will say, guys, I have not heard that 31 days today that any of the like YouTubers and stuff there have been causing a whole lot of issues. I know JLR had a huge issue with the Cajun Navy saying they weren't real and stuff like that. They were gypsies or something like that, but I don't know. I know that we do know that Texas EquiSearch is actually working with, helping and stuff like that. But the problem is, it's just like, there's nowhere to start. He just vanished with no scent, nothing. If you get a chance, Deets on the Streets did a really great live last night where she just basically played, oh gosh, Pointer Lover. I will say JLR, not my favorite, but at least quieter, I guess, than BHB. She collected all of their interviews and put it together and played through them and just kept it facts, dissected the interviews. It was actually really good. I think the one they need to keep letting interrogate them is Nancy Grace, because she was, hey, I mean, people can say what she wants, but she gets things done. Yeah, I thought so too. Deets on the Street. I don't know how to pin channels, or I would definitely go watch that, because it was just really helpful to watch each interview that they've given by themselves. Emily, that is a fantastic point. Check all Uber type drivers that picked up a mail in that time frame. And y'all, I would say they need to find out if Chris had any extracurricular activities with anybody on that site that he was on. Because look, we can't, Mark, like, that's something that has to be looked at. Everybody in their life did Chris in fact meet people off this website? You heard Pointer Lover, it's gross, and that was just the Facebook page. Were mom and dad both swingers and they were using the site? Like, they need to come forward with that kind of stuff, because those are all people that aren't in their life, but could have a very big impact on their life. And no one follows that page for fun and lets it be visible to everybody. I mean, maybe they do. I guess they do. And it's disgusting. I was like, what? Yeah, Mark. Now that I would love to listen to some of his coworkers' interview, because if he's away and he's using this site and stuff, he's bragging about it to his buddies. I don't know. It made me like him a lot. I know everybody, each their own, their opinions. I guess that just really rubbed me the wrong way. Like, dude, seriously right now? Now, I wonder you've been married how many times? 4 or 5 times. Mm-hmm. Part of me wondered if Ellie wanted them to leave because Chris was so controlling. Like, how much was he interfering with the investigation to try to control the narrative is what I wonder. I just know that each day that passes, they've got to have a break. Katie, yeah, exactly. Katie's his 5th wife. Well, I can tell you why, Chris. Most wives get angry when you're on a site specifically for casual meetups and hookups. But that's kind of what irritated. He just did what he's whatever he does. Yeah, 5 wives. I knew it was 4 or 5. I just couldn't remember what one Katie was. That's exactly. Yep, you're right. Yep. Exactly right. Exactly my point, Mo. Well said. Yep. His sexual life does not matter in a sense of his life, but did he or she interview? Yep. That's exactly right. Because those are the things they've got to know. Because, hey, did you meet up with somebody that's in a trafficking ring that you didn't know? That stalked you out then afterwards, those type of things. Like, dude, there's probably some big weirdos on that site. Yeah, I know, right, Mark? Oh, I'm sure Point of Lover. I think for we know for certain that they've talked to the ex that has the daughter. But yeah, that was well said, Mo. That's exactly what I was trying to get at. As that would concern me. I'm going to assume they've probably chatted with, law enforcement's gone through his Facebook, probably chatted and said, hey, about this, have you ever used it? Because, and you can't claim that it was from, so he can't claim that this site he was on was from when he was in California and stuff, because the people on it are all from Tennessee. And now just a few days ago, he joined the networking of Tennessee. Like, so now you're networking with Tennessee? Like, what the? Mark. Yeah, I'm like, Chris, you're making it really hard for me to believe in you anymore, man. You guys are cracking me up. So I'm going to hop off here, but yes, definitely go watch Deets. Hopefully tomorrow something comes. Let's keep up to date on Riley case, but I don't think there's going to be much, but we'll see. I could be wrong. Let me know if anything big happens. I appreciate you guys coming in, and let's hope for some big news tomorrow, or just some positive news of a lead or something. All right, guys, I'll talk to you soon.